Hi everyone, Edie Summers here. Thanks so much for checking out this webinar, and I really hope you come join us. I wanted to give you a sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about on this webinar, and I really designed this webinar to give you hopefully some quick wins and aha moments. If you've been struggling with chronic fatigue or burnout, or both, or even ME or CFS, or some other type of chronic condition where you have chronic fatigue as a symptom, or maybe you're burned out just from burning the candles at both ends and you're just feeling really wiped out and lacking motivation, this is definitely the place to be. I can definitely relate. I've been through all of these myself, and I know what it's like to feel like you don't have any energy and you don't really know what to do next. And I actually have a whole book out on this subject. It's a resource. It's took me 10 years to write, and it's I think really helpful, and it goes into a lot of detail. But on this webinar, we're going to cover a few of the hopefully the biggest and quickest wins for you, so that you can hopefully gain ground. So really quickly, just some of the things we're going to be covering. Some of the things that helped me in a nutshell were avoiding irritants, avoiding too much stimulation. A little bit of stimulation can actually be really helpful if you couple it with positive nutrition. Um, and also, though, knowing your genetic vulnerabilities can be really helpful, and I'm going to cover some of those in the webinar, including one that's not really necessarily a genetic vulnerability, but it's what's known as being a highly sensitive person. And when you're highly sensitive, you're definitely more sensitive to the effects of stress. And so you have to practice self-care and put yourself first in order to keep kind of the ongoing effects of stress at bay. So when I realized that I was a highly sensitive person, that was a game changer for me. And also realizing what I was sensitive to in terms of irritants, and also practicing a lot of self-care, and really learning about nutrition. And there's so many tips, and there are going to be different things that work for different people. But I've been living this firsthand for over 25 years, and also I also know what it's like to go through it. So I've done a lot of research on it, and I've also gone through it. And so I really am hoping that you'd come join us on this webinar so that you can start finding hopefully the answer or answers that work for you. So hopefully you'll come join us on this free exclusive webinar. And so yeah, some of the things we're going to be covering are avoiding irritants, really, really big, because when you are exposed to an irritant, it can create fatigue in the body through different systems in the body. Say, let's for instance, you're not detoxing properly, something you're sensitive to something, but because you're not detoxing it properly, that can create fatigue syndromes in the body. Also, when your brain's immune system gets activated, if you're constantly exposed to irritants, that can create fatigue in the body. But also, and I don't want to overwhelm you with information, because I know what it's like to feel exhausted and burned out, whether that burnout is from burning the candles at both ends or from having a chronic condition like ME or CFS, or even fibromyalgia or MS or lupus or RA, and you have a symptom of chronic fatigue, or maybe you've gone through chemotherapy and you have a symptom of chronic fatigue. So I want to clarify that burnout and chronic fatigue are different. However, there are some similarities. For both of them, there's the feeling of chronic fatigue, whether you're burned out or have chronic fatigue, or you have what's known as chronic fatigue syndrome, or it's these days known as SCID. But also, being a highly sensitive person is actually often found in both. And so it's very easy for highly sensitive personality types to get burned out easily. And oftentimes I have found that even with people with chronic conditions that are related to chronic fatigue, sometimes there's also the component of being a highly sensitive person. So again, come join us on this free exclusive webinar to find out more information, hopefully about what maybe some of the answers are going to be for you. I hope you come join us. I've worked really hard to put this together, and I'm really excited to have you on there with me. I'm going to be answering some questions live too, so go ahead and join the webinar and then type in your question or questions, and I'll answer some of them live, and I'll do my best to answer all of them one way or the other, okay? So I hope to see you on there. See you. This webinar is happening next Wednesday, August 31st. 2016. I hope to see you on there. Take care. Bye-bye.